Hey everyone, it's your girl Jynnette the Oracle, and I'm here today to give you the channeled guidance for autumn equinox, which is actually happening on Monday. So obviously I'm doing this early, but I mean, we're basically in that corridor. If you don't know, Saturn just went direct on the 18th yesterday. It will take a little bit of time for Saturn to pick up its speed and move forward, but yeah, we are definitely in a very interesting portal right now, and that's the message that I've been getting from Spirit. So today's session is going to be very meditative. So I invite you to grab a journal, just some paper or something, or even just type notes in your cell phone if you don't have access to some paper right now, just to be able to check in. Hello, good morning, Deanna. Hey, Deanna. Shireen, welcome. Good morning. So as I was preparing for this, I actually went ahead and pulled color cards for today, and 3 popped out. So we're going to start with grounding that energy first. The clarity of the video is amazing today. Yes, it is. I'm so happy. Let's hope it stays that way, because y'all know it's so hit or miss. But it's all good. I have been in spirit basically for like the past week. And this is pretty much going to be the standard now, at least for a little while. So, which is fine. It's totally fine. Anyway, let's do a quick check-in though, while folks are coming in, because I do want to get through these cards. They're actually gorgeous colors. So hopefully the stream will stay clear while I put those up. But yes, quick check-in. How is everyone doing? Are you feeling better now that we are a little bit further from the full moon in Pisces? I know we're not fully out of the mutable energy, because technically we do have a third quarter square of the moon this Saturday in Gemini, and we're going to have a bunch of squares with the personal planets to Saturn in Capricorn. So I mean, it's still tough energy, but hopefully some of the emotion and the fogginess has calmed down. And also, hopefully, you are picking up the guidance from Spirit to truly surrender, right? There's a lot of surrendering, a lot of guidance coming through about listening to the higher self, following that, do the things that you need to do, but really allowing for a lot more space. Yeah. Let's see, feeling much more, hold on, let me go back up. Last week was so traumatic. Oh, yeah, it was a rough week. Sorry that it was traumatic, though. Feel free to share if you want to. Brandy says, feeling much more optimistic this week. Yay. Started my period early, too, and I feel like it's a part of the big release. Nice, yeah. Feeling clearer, yes. Yes, some residual energy, but moving forward. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel is the residual, but it's still very much like I literally feel physically like Spirit is pushing me forward. Like I can't even like lean back. Like I'm constantly actually having to sit forward a little bit more, which is interesting. But yeah, it's just this sense of like move forward, because whatever is the old is being cleared on our behalf, which is beautiful. Priscilla says, I love you and I'm grateful for you using your gifts of guidance and intuition. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful for it too. I'm grateful when I listen and don't fight it, right? Yes to the push, same. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So for the folks who are coming in, good morning, welcome. If you are new to me, please subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Oh, quick announcement. This Saturday, the 21st, is going to be the final day to shoot me an email. Let me know you want to take one of the courses for the fall semester, as well as to send me your payment, because the classes start on Monday. They are video recordings that are sent out, so you can go at your own pace, but there are going to be live office hours that are made available as well too. So you can check all that information out on my website. I'll also put the information in the description box below once the live stream is done. So just want to put that heads up in case anybody in last minute wants to get into a class. Shireen says, started a new job and got dizzy with bad vertigo on 9/11, ended up in the hospital for 2 nights. Oh my goodness. Kept asking what I meant to learn here. Did they figure out what that was about for you, Shireen? What caused the vertigo? All the tests came clear. So did you get an answer when you asked what you're meant to learn in that situation? But also, thank God everything came back clear, because, you know, who needs a diagnosis right now? We don't have time for that. We do not have time. If you feel like sharing, of course. Letting go of trying to control everything, being okay to ask for help. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty strong way to get a message, though. But, you know, as long as you're good. As long as you're good. Okay, so the as I mentioned at the beginning, this is going to be centered on the autumn equinox, because for me, this is our spiritual new year. So, and because it is also our spiritual new year, it is a time for kicking off a 3-month period of deep time with spirit and walking with spirit, and receiving messages from the higher self, because what we're going to be deposited with now over these next few months is related to our assignment for the rest of the year cycle, which of course would end next fall. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I always say, like, do your year ahead planning or assessments as well too during the fall season, because once we get into winter, and the beginning of the year is actually during our winter season, you really just need to be already kind of in the flow and not really initiating anything new, because that's not what that energetically is about. Winter season is about rest and incubation. It's not about necessarily like having like a whole bunch of output and things like that. So yeah, this is the time to do that. Oh, as an FYI too, another announcement, I will be opening up my 2020 year ahead astrology forecast on Monday, autumn equinox. So if you would like to book a reading, that will be able to start, you'll be able to start doing that starting then. Okay, so 3 cards I got. First one is pink. And this one says, let love in. And this message about love actually came through with the Saturn channeled message that I put out in the newsletter. If you're not on a newsletter, sign up. But I did also put it on my blog page on the website, so you can look at it's the latest post, Saturn channeled message. Because in that I was asking, you know, what can we do for this next stage? And the one of the first things that came out was the unconditional love. Next is Auburn. So I'll hold this up. This is a gorgeous color. I love autumn colors, so I gag. But this is ground yourself. Okay. That's actually card number 11. The pink card is card number 4. And then lastly is Mauve. Okay. And this is clear, enjoy clear hearing, card number 43, which is a 7. Okay, so I'm going to read the messages for these real quick. Okay, so for the pink, I'll put this up so you can meditate on that energy while I'm reading. I already feel that this is a healing transmission, Oracle Talks again, so feel free to absorb all of this through the astral body in particular, but of course the heart too. So pink is the energy of unconditional love, opening your heart and helping to heal heart problems. It assists with releasing emotional challenges and brings tranquility. Pink also helps with insomnia and the manifestation of dreams. Open your heart with delicate pink colors. And then so the exercise is become aware of any tension in your body. Take in a deep breath and allow your body to soften. So go ahead and do that. Take a deep breath in and allow your body to soften. Focus on letting go any hardness or density. Close your eyes and imagine you are holding the most beautiful pink flower. Could be pink roses. Breathe in its sweet scent, inviting its beauty and delicateness to open your heart. Then imagine pink light from that flower flowing into your heart and filling it up with unconditional love. Now think of someone you love and allow the love you feel to pour from your heart into his or hers. Savor that feeling of love and connectedness. And you can say, divine love, pour your healing light into my heart, softening it, purifying it, and rejuvenating it so that it is shiny, loving, and full of enthusiasm. Okay, so that's that energy. Hope that felt good. Moving on to Auburn. Ground yourself. And in the comments, let me know how each of these are feeling for you, if you're able to resonate with them or not. Auburn is a fantastic color for grounding yourself and providing access to universal intelligence. Regeneration, increased concentration, and a higher level of patience, stability, and practicality are all among Auburn's gifts. Ground yourself in the now with the Auburn rays of light. And the exercise. Imagine that your feet are magnetized to the earth and its rich colors. Place your bare feet on the ground. You can do that obviously outside too. Breathe deeply and feel the energy and healing power of the earth. Visualize Auburn's rays moving through your body and into the earth. That's an important, I'll finish this, but I want to say real quick, just as you are in a relationship with others, you are also in a relationship with the earth energetically, as well as with the spirit realm energetically. So it's not just a receiving all the time. It is also a giving and a sharing of you, yourself, your experiences, your love, your energy. So let that be a complete loop. Yeah. Feel how the rays ground you in the present moment. Enjoy the feeling of connectedness, allowing Auburn to regenerate your body. And you can say this quote, Divine Spirit, connect me to your infinite power and intelligence. Allow me to walk my true path of wisdom, peace, and joy. Okay, so let me know how that felt. And then finally with Mauve, which is really interesting that it's enjoy clear hearing because, as I said at the beginning, like this is a time for a lot of spirit messages. So it's awesome. All right, look at this beautiful color. Mauve, a pale lavender lilac color, connects to intuition, awakening your inspiration, expanding your spiritual awareness, and helping you to let go of heavy, dense energies. Mauve also creates a sense of peace and tranquility to assist with eye and ear problems and improve your memory and ability to concentrate. It is a color of softness, gentleness, and allowance. Use mauve rays to release stuckness from your ears. And then an exercise, focus your attention on your ears. Do they feel clear or blocked? Ask yourself, is there anything that I don't want to hear? Your ears are intelligent and may try to block out information you're avoiding. The next time you are around someone who is saying something hurtful or upsetting to you, imagine mauve rays moving through your left ear to push anything dense or unclear out through your right ear and into a fire that dissipates the negativity. Do the same thing with your right ear. Then surround yourself with loving and encouraging people. And you can repeat this affirmation. Divine intelligence, please allow me to listen and apply my divine wisdom. Beautiful. All right, and let me know how that felt. So the Auburn, you needed that TG. Awesome. The bottom of the deck is actually this coral color. So this is a great kind of throwback to the peach that had come up earlier. I think it was 2 weeks ago, because last week was the white. I didn't pull a card last time, but we were working with the seraphim, so it was very high energy. It was just all white. Okay, so we're gonna switch. So it looks like this is gonna be a bit of a Saturn message as well too. We'll see. Let me pull from the Ascension cards. What higher realm energy is predominant at the moment. And then hello to new folks coming in. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Higher realm support for not only the week ahead, but also the corridor of autumn equinox. Interesting, Hilarion. Okay. Hilarion is from Saturn. Didn't I just say I feel it's going to be a Saturn message? Always, whenever there needs to be confirmation, right? Hilarion is from Saturn and steps down his energy through the Temple of Truth over Crete. He is a negotiator for Earth on the Council for Saturn, on the Council of Saturn, and helps us remain connected to our spiritual journey. Interesting. He, as master of the orange fifth ray of technology, science, truth, and knowledge, which is so interesting because this coral color is here at the bottom. That means I might have to, let me see what that quick message is. Hold on. Yeah, coral is literally the card right before peach, which was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's about bringing synchronicity and ease. And also helping with the grounding, but okay. Stay focused, Jynnette. He invites you to open your mind so that he can drop seeds for new ideas into your consciousness. I was just saying this. He assists those who are ready to become higher channels and clairvoyants. Okay, so as I was saying, yes. Sorry you've had a rough week. That's definitely been a shared experience for many of us, but I do hope and I do pray that that is easing up for you, okay? But also be sure to feel into that. Don't spiritually bypass. Honor your humanity always, first and foremost, and let spirit take care of the rest. Okay, so I'll say this again. He invites you to open your mind so that he can drop seeds for new ideas into your consciousness, which is why I was getting a message earlier that this is going to be more of a meditative Oracle Talks. And I will repeat again for those who are coming in later. Get some paper and pen or your journal or something to write down notes, because I feel like there is going to be some stuff coming down for not just, you know, obviously what I'm saying, but I think that everyone here is going to be getting messages too. So yeah, if you hear, you ready? Because it says he assists those who are ready to become higher channels and clairvoyants. So act like you know. Your guidance is to sit quietly and ask him to help you be all that you can be. Wow. I open myself to the wisdom and guidance of Hilarion. Now, this last sentence, your guidance is to sit quietly and ask him to help you be all that you can be. That also hits home. So for those of you who are on my newsletter and you saw the one from last week, which is part 2 of my dad's story, where I learned about his intention for my name and that army quote, right? This is a read from me today too, as it is for you. I mean, it always is for all of us, but I'm right here with you, although I'm not going to be able to write down notes for myself. But it is what it is. I was already in council this morning, so it's fine. Don't worry. I was already in council. I was up at like 5:30. That's been the usual now, because again, fall season is spirit time. So it is that time for being up early in the spirit and lots of time in meditation. So, and I love it. Like I really do. I truly do love sitting with spirit and working with spirit. So it's not a burden in any way, shape, or form. It's just so much easier this time of year than it is any other time of year. Because autumn is about clearing space. So it's actually, I've been feeling this since Virgo season, because Virgo I really feel is more of the fall energy, but or it's the clearing energy as well as harvest. But yeah, it's much easier to access because there's already a propensity in this northern hemisphere for quicker access with spirit. So yeah, it's my favorite time. Besides birthday, of course. But it's my favorite time. Also Thanksgiving, because food. All right, so I'm gonna do a few more shuffles. How did everyone feel with that mauve? Did you feel energy shift then, or when I pulled that Hilarion card? Okay. Oh. Oh, yes, Lord. Okay. With the Hilarion card, yeah, same. The card that we got from the Threads of Fate Oracle deck is Reclaim. Look at this. Look at the little kitty cat. Bottom of the deck is Take Risk. And if you can see here, it's a goat, Capricorn energy, Saturn. Y'all, it's going to be a read today. It's going to be a read. That Take Risk card is gorgeous, by the way. Let's see. I don't know where this Reclaim might be, though. I don't know how to tell what's an element card versus... Okay. I'm assuming this is fire. Excuse me, y'all. And also, too, I'm getting the message from Spirit. There are going to be downloads, but this is also a clearing space. So if there are things that you are needing to express, like any worries or fears or things like that, go ahead and type them, because okay. So the angels are here to actually clear things. This is very much a portal right now that I'm sitting in. I was getting that message earlier today, and I've actually been in this space since early yesterday morning. But yeah, there's whatever's on your heart, whatever you need help with, have fears, concerns about, type that stuff, get it out here, and it's going to be cleared and worked on. Okay, so it is in the fire. Awesome. I literally only work with this deck for Oracle Talk, so I might get it. All right, Reclaim. So I'll put this up here, and I hope that the stream will stay relatively steady. Okay. Reclaim. You were born as a perfectly imperfect human with gifts, talents, medicine, wisdom, and knowing. Growing up in a culture that does not nurture these gifts creates misalignment with our highest truth. Reclamation can be a lifetime process, as it is continually awakening to ancient medicine we knew in other lifetimes and soul wisdom. While there is no rule book or map for this journey, this card calls your attention to what stirs deep inside your soul memory. We are often drawn to places, people, experiences, music, etc., that we know on a cellular level, but our logical mind may not understand why. This card asks you to follow your intuition, trust that desire, and follow it. Reclaim your knowing, your power, your medicine, and your healing. Enjoy the mystery and stories unfolding. The animal here is the panther. To see a panther live is often accompanied with a feeling of awe at how at home it appears in its body, environment, and movement. Panther has an overwhelming aura of confidence. It may be laying or sauntering, but it can spring into action in a split second. Panthers are also incredibly solitary animals. They live, hunt, and travel alone. The work of reclamation can also be a lonely journey. Panther can teach us how to reclaim our wisdom in medicine with power, grace, and comfort in solitude. That's an important message because it is very, very personal. And yes, it is good to have group experiences. Most of your spiritual work, and I'm hearing actually 99% of it from spirit, is one that you take on your own with the divine. And that's okay because that's actually how it should be. The plant associated is fireweed. One word, fire and weed as one word. Fireweed is a pioneer plant, meaning that after extreme soil disturbance, a wildfire, for example, fireweed will establish colonies to repopulate the land and put nutrients back in the soil so other plants and trees can take root. As a plant ally, it teaches us how to restore ourselves after life takes a toll on us. In particular, it helps us learn our natural capacity to self-heal. That's beautiful because I think we all have been through that recently. So maybe Google that and find an image of fireweed. And then the crystal is golden apatite. So apatite, apatite. Golden apatite is a helpful ally to those who have been worn down and are feeling small. Ooh, Lord, aren't we here? Its fiery energy supports us in standing up for ourselves and reclaiming our confidence. Many of us were raised to play small, be humble, and cautious. Golden apatite is a guide in breaking free of these ingrained limitations. Call upon golden apatite when you need support in reclaiming your true and confident and empowered self. Beautiful. And I'm just going to read the short message for the Take Risk card. Which I'm assuming also is fire. Yep. Love the purification. Risks are personal to each one of us. To some, climbing a mountain doesn't feel risky. To others, having a conversation with a stranger does. What has been calling you that you have been afraid to do? Comfort kills growth. It is important that we regularly do things that push the envelope, that make us feel nervous, apprehensive, and uneasy, with the exception, of course, of physical danger. This card is asking you to take the plunge and do the thing that intimidates you. Trust that the net will appear after you jump. Okay, so this for me is about stepping into the new, which has been a prominent message. Okay, how are y'all feeling? I'm not going to read what you wrote because I'm not the one facilitating healing around those matters, but thank you for sharing. Those of you who are sharing whatever you are needing healing of and support in. And I can feel the angels going to those of you who are writing. So get that tissue, cry if you need to, sit in it. And then, yeah, if there needs to be additional guidance later, we can circle back around, or you can ask a question later, depending on how today's goes. Okay. Ooh. So let's take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to open up to your soul, expanding your awareness. Expanding that communion with that true divine nature. Calling in the higher self. And allowing whatever needs to be released, that you can have this merger of consciousness, this coherence of energy without obstruction, with ease and grace. Continue to allow your field to be cleared. Let the stress and the worry drop away just for this moment now. Hmm. And set the intention to be open to a new world, a new earth that is being created. Of shifting the mind and the consciousness to a higher perspective. Knowing that that higher perspective will bring all other aspects of your life along with it. This is a reorientation to the wisdom and sovereignty of the spirit. Okay. How are you guys feeling? And what, if anything, is coming up? There's still a little bit more shifting that needs to happen, but I want to do a quick check-in. Vulnerable but open. It's beautiful. Be ready to move when it's time to move. That part. Very aware and open. Okay. So we're going to have to work really hard over these next couple days, and probably through the rest of the season. On listening to where the soul tells us to go and how it's wanting us to move versus what our mind or our ego or what society is telling us. And this is not in the context of being rebellious or going against it just to go against it. But because there is so much change, because there is so much influx, it can be very easy to be pulled off your path, off your track, because of distractions. So you'll always know you're working with spirit or you're in flow with your soul when there's peace, right? And I've talked about this before. letting peace be the gauge for whether or not you are in alignment with purpose or not. Because even when something is exciting and, you know, seems like a good idea, it does actually create a lot of tension in the mind and the body. And we can be so used to making decisions based on an emotional response, whether it's pleasure or pain, that we forget what it's like to move and walk through the world from a place of flow, like a panther would. Priscilla says, stepping into my purpose and beginning the pursuit and leaving my self-doubt behind. So I think this just needs to be about our spiritual journey right now. Because I'm trying to check in to see, like, what to ground the message in. The sun card at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. It's like this energy is interesting because it's like we know, but we also don't know. So it's interesting for me to try to like linearize this in a way that's actually going to make sense and be practical, because that's my thing, is action steps, right? Okay, so I'll just take this as a note about how Hilarion/Saturn really can help us be all that we can be. That feels good. That seems to ring something within. Let me know if that resonates with you too. Okay, so the spiritual approach to things. I hope the stream is still looking okay. It looks like it is. Yes, that is the thing. Cool. Oh, y'all saw that, right? Okay. Yeah. I only need 2 more cards. Let's keep this clear. Oh, I have to take those. Never mind. Okay. One second. Okay, so as it relates to just us as individuals, I mean, look at these cards. Hold on. Two of Wands, King and Queen of Pentacles, and the World card. Like, we're solid as we are. Just point blank, period. So if there was any thought in your mind that you were less than with that kind of energy, that would be not true. Right? You pulled those 4 this morning? Oh my goodness. We'll see if you got the rest of the cards that I pulled out. That's hilarious, actually. So that, just to say off the bat, there's a balance of the masculine and feminine energy. There's mastery of the physical world. There is a portal open, and pretty much always is, honestly, to the soul. And we're deciding where we're going. So that's just in general on the individual side of things. I like that. Now, in terms of a spiritual approach to money, and a reminder, this is an autumn equinox message. So not just for this this season of 3 months that we're stepping into, but just in general. This is also telling you where you're starting. If that makes sense, right? Because it's a new year. You're not actually starting from scratch. This is telling you what you're working with, what we are working with. So in terms of a spiritual approach to money, you have what you need. But in terms of the management of your money, always keep in mind where you're going for the long term. Or what it is that you're wanting to create. There's actually something here about belief systems. Hold on one second. Okay, so there's a reminder here that there is actually abundance everywhere. And again, your needs are met. There's also a message here about looking at the root of things. So looking at the root of things that have brought you to where you are, both from a positive quote unquote lens as well as a negative quote unquote lens. We tend to skew negative when we look back on things like, oh, these are all the things that went wrong. But celebrate your success, please, because obviously everything didn't go wrong. You are doing some things quote unquote right. So look at all of it. Because there is a long-standing river that is continuing to move forward. And all you're doing is just adjusting the sail, adjusting the oar. But also looking at the root of your ideas and beliefs around abundance. And seeing money through a practical lens, meaning using it as a tool as opposed to an indication of or being tied to your sense of worth and value. It is not who you are. It is something you use. It's a tool. It's a tool to create certain things. It is not a tool that actually creates life. So remember your sovereignty. Oh, that just felt like a read. I mean, it is Saturn. My goodness. Okay. I love spirit. But it's a good reminder because, you know, we don't realize like actually how ingrained the stuff around money is for us here. You know, obviously, in terms of the tool that we use to feed ourselves and clothe ourselves and have a place to live and all that is important and it's relevant. But, you know, in a different culture and a different time period, that medium for that medium of value would be, you know, something different, or it would be strictly bartering or things like that. Like it's always going to be, the tool changes, but it's just a tool. And you decide what that tool is to you, but it is not a reflection of your true soul nature, because your true soul nature is this, a fractal of the universe. So please don't confuse your identity and your sense of self-love and self-worth with something that is made up. And this is not to trivialize the tool, because tools have power, they have purpose, but that is separate from you and who you are and your identity. Understand as well too. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Understand as well too that this is a game. Okay. So and again, not to trivialize life, but think about it. You know, when you play a game with, oh God, I hope they're not about to start some construction. I apologize in advance if it starts to get ridiculous. But think about your emotional response is when you play a game and you lose, or you're not doing as well as you think you should do. Okay. Observe how you think about yourself. If you start judging yourself, if you start feeling like you aren't anything, like if you lose or something, if you get really frustrated and feel like, okay, why can't I get this right or whatever, that's something to look at, because that is indicating to you that instead of seeing the process of playing the game as a way to learn and to develop skill, then it becomes something that shackles you as opposed to something where you can experience freedom and liberation. And that's actually what devil and the devil energy, which is the devil card in the deck, but Saturn is really about. Saturn actually does give you freedom when you learn the box. Like when you learn the rules, when you learn the box, when you develop mastery and skills and discipline, and you use it instead of being used by it, you actually get freedom. So this human experience, this human incarnation, these cycles of physicality are not prisons. They are containers for you to experience things. But please don't self-identify with the game, because it is not who you are. And come back to the truth of that reality often when you are heaping upon yourselves a lot of unnecessary judgment and emotional burden, because that is self-created, or it's taken on by the environment. But that is not the truth. So play your money. And when you make what you perceive to be failures or mistakes or things like that, it's just a way to learn. It's a way to adjust. You always get a do-over. Basically, if you wake up every single day, the game has restarted. Okay? When you stop waking up, the game is over for that particular incarnation and you move on. So if you are blessed to continue to wake up every morning, the game has reset and you get to start over. And there's always going to be opportunities along the way. So yeah, you might be restarting and your last save point, I'm going to roll with this game imagery, video game imagery. But like, you may roll from your last save point and you might have like, really low resources, really low energy, and just like, how am I supposed to make it to the next thing? And then you keep trying and keep trying. And then all of a sudden you notice, or you come across like a new life, a new treasure, a new, refill on your weapons or whatever it is. And you're able to make it to the next stage, or not. You might actually just choose to do a hard reset and just start over from scratch. And you can make that choice as well too. But what's nice about the game is when you choose to reset, or when life resets you, if you want to think about it outside of yourself, you don't lose because you're the player in the game. You don't lose the knowledge that you gained. So even though you're resetting the game and you're starting over and like, hey, I don't like this path, like it really sucks. I just want to start over. I want to pick something different. Cool. You have all the knowledge from that last play that you did. So you're going to come to this new game, this new journey, this new path, right? With all that information. And guess what? You're going to end up being more successful with playing the game or getting farther ahead because of that knowledge. But just know you're going to get to a point where you're going to exceed the knowledge that you've gained up to a certain point, because you're going to truly enter into new territory, and you're necessarily going to have mistakes and to have what you perceive as failures, because you're going to have to learn new skills. You're going to come across new bosses, right? New enemies, new areas of conflict, new areas of difference. but still take the risk. Because as you do that, you're going to come across some new, what you perceive as obstacles, but it also unlocks new abilities, new powers, new magic. So keep the game going, but try as much as you can to have fun with it. There are, of course, going to be serious things that come up, but just try not to, really the message is try not to consider yourself on a soul level in your sense of self-esteem and self-worth as a failure just because there's an external failure of money. What's happening with money is not an indication of the truth of your soul being of your true nature. Now, it can very much be an indication of what's going on in your mind, in your emotions, in terms of how you manage your money. Okay, but that's not what this message is about. This is a spiritual read on the relationship with money. So yes, obviously, like, you need to manage your money correctly and watch what you're spending and all of that, right? And if you have difficulty doing that, that is a place where you can get support and do healing and see what the roots of, what may be affecting your ability to use the tool that you have in a way to give you what you want. But with all that being said, even with you mastering your tools perfectly, the nature of physical existence, the nature of nature itself, of life itself, is cycles. So even if you are at the top of your game and you have mastered the tool of money, you're still going to have cycles when it's high and when it's low. No one gets to escape that. Not even Oprah. Okay. Not even like, Bill Gates. Like, it's just, nobody gets to escape it. So please don't take it to heart when things don't work out or when they don't go the way that you would like them to. Mourn the shift, mourn the transition, mourn the loss. But please don't take it to heart, because you can start over. If you have woken up today by the grace of God, because truly by the grace of God, you did not will yourself into existence, believe me. You are here because the divine is pulsing you into existence, into life, just because. This is not something that you or I are doing of our free will and volition. It is not. We are created. We are not creator. So if you have been graced to take a breath and to be here, please try your best or to practice not taking things to heart. When something painful, not taking things to heart or not coloring who you are, okay? Let the experience be the experience, but when it's done, let it be done. Do not be blinded by that truth. Does that hit home for y'all? I know I need that message, and there's a few folks that I know need that message as well too. So awesome. I'm also hearing, because there are additional messages, we're not done yet with that, because we're still on the individual right now. I haven't even gotten to relating with others. But this kind of can talk about that. Be clear about what it is that you want and speak that. And that's not coming from a place of you needing to be in control or being in power over someone else or something else. But be very clear about your needs, your wants, your expectations. And know that that in and of itself doesn't have to be explained. Yeah, so you don't have to apologize or justify what you're bringing to the table in terms of your thoughts, your ideas, your visions, your perspectives, your opinions, your needs, your wants, your desires, your expectations. None of that, okay? Now, obviously, delivery is important, so be kind. However, don't wiggle around your words. That's probably the best way I can say that. And don't worry about whether or not a need can be met, or if what you're asking for can be given by a person, a situation, a thing, a job, whatever it is. Like, because, you know, I know how this feels. I'm trying to like put it into words. We worry, or we can worry so much about the no, and we assume the no without giving as much time, energy, and honestly expectation for the yes. So if there is a no that pops up, that's amazing. Say thank you, because it moves. That's a clear indication that that is not going to meet whatever it is that you are requesting, right? So you don't have to waste energy and time trying to make that happen. And it gets you closer to the yes, right? So just, again, this thing of like, just stand firm in your word. You don't have to wiggle around that. And of course, as you know, as I'm saying you, I am saying, I'm implying myself as well. There is a message here as well too about being in a lot of personal power, but having to choose the way forward. So take it a step at a time. Always choosing the highest path for yourself. In other words, what is it that you actually can live with, not what makes it comfortable for other people. Okay, so now in regards to other folks, or just the external world, really, more specifically, be neutral in your approach to work, okay? And especially work and personal life balance. It's this time period we're entering into, but also for the year ahead. And another plug about getting the astrology forecast for next year. Next year is going to be rough, guys. Like it's going to be rough because it's going to be a mutable year, mutable energy. So we've been sitting in mutable energy for the past month. So this is an indication to you of what this is going to be like next year for the bulk of the year, just FYI. but maintaining an appropriate balance for yourself and staying focused on your work and getting things done that need to get done and not allowing for a lot of distractions is really important. So this is going to be a lot on self-discipline, right? But it's not in the sense of like, you know, it's like, yes, do your work, and you will be doing your work and you'll want to do your work. But when you're doing your work, focus on doing your work, give it your all. And then when you're done and move on. Like, don't let that energy bleed over into other areas of your life that are requiring your attention. Because, you know, especially with both the King and Queen of Earth coming out with the world, it's like, and because this is a Saturn message, and we are now moving forward in the final degrees of Saturn, the last decan, so the last 10 degrees of Saturn. This is about personal mastery, or that's where we're going to be shifting into as Saturn moves out of the post-shadow period. But you're responsible for that energy. So set boundaries where you need to set boundaries around work. Hold a standard for what's going to fly with you and what's not. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you get what you accept with this. And if that means your humanity essentially is not going to be respected where you are, then you need to start looking elsewhere to find a company or a situation that's going to be more conducive to a balanced lifestyle that you're trying to, or not trying to, that you're embodying and that you're creating for yourself. And the universe will support you with that, because there does need to be a balance. Because what has been given, or the how do I say this? The habit in the work culture here, in particular in this country, but also just Western countries in general, is it asks way too much. Like, we give so much more in general than what we actually are compensated for. So I think on some level that's not really going to fly with us, those of us that work for others, right? Now, if you work for yourself, if you're your own entrepreneur, this is going to require you to be on top of your schedule and being disciplined with it, so that you can manage all the things that are there to be managed, because this is going to be a very fruitful season of autumn, but also a fruitful year ahead, because again, spiritual new year, autumn equinox. But it's going to require that King and Queen of Pentacles vibe. And the thing with the King and Queen of Pentacles for me is it's earth energy, so it includes all the other elements. So it's being balanced with your emotions, the cups. It's being balanced with the mind and management of things, the air element. It's being balanced with the creativity and the fun and the playfulness, which the fire, and, you know, health and wellness with the earth energy. Like, it's all of it. So it's not, there's nothing piecemeal about this. It's you gotta be on top of that. But I think there's going to be a course correction for many folks in the work environment, because there has to be a better balancing of the output and the input. And it's really a matter about staying in integrity, karmic integrity, with your soul and with yourself and the agreements that you have with others, than anything else. Okay? And everything else will really just roll off Roll off your shoulders, roll off your back. Relationships will continue to see some adjustments. For those of you specifically who are in committed partnerships already, I'm specifically hearing the phrase, where do we go from here? So that can be taken obviously in a positive or a quote unquote negative light. And this may be honestly more prevalent or prominent during the autumn season. So these upcoming 3 months. But it's a lot of that kind of assessing energy. Now you know. I don't understand why this side is flat, and then we go through this every time. I'm a Libra rising, so it is what it is. I'm not even apologizing. I embrace the need to have everything be equal. Okay. Now, for those of you who are single and are dating, single and looking or dating, I'm going to show you these other 4 cards because it's interesting. But you see the predominant energy right now is like all earth, which I love. I love, love, love. Ten of Pentacles, Justice card, Page or Princess of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. For those folks, again, like I said, single and looking or dating, dating one or more people. I'm hearing for some of you, you are looking at things or you're dating it for the purpose of the long haul. Okay, so, you know, if you want the marriage and kids and all that stuff, like that's kind of on your mind. And that, again, makes sense to me since we already had the King and Queen of Pentacles come up. Oh, I hope the stream is okay. Looks like it was a little splotchy, but hopefully we're good. There's a little bit of a lag, so that usually is an indication to me that it might be acting up. So that's there. But on the other hand, there is also this sense that you know, as individuals, we're very comfortable within our own skin, meaning we are coming to the table as whole beings, which is good. That's actually a very healthy energy. I like that. The conversation as well seems to be very clear and very direct. Like there's not a lot of that phrase, pussyfooting around. Which I like, actually. Clear communication is always a good thing. But yeah, it's just kind of like, you're good. So if something or someone comes around that complements that vibe, you're good. If not, you're good. Like it's, everything is just very grounded and very balanced. There's no spiking of the energy one way or another. So I really, really, really like that. Let's see, final messages. I'm also hearing that there's a lot of rebuilding for those who've been experiencing a lot of deep, either familial healing, you know, so with parents, siblings, etc., or ancestral work, or both. There's a rebuilding now. All right, so I'm going to go back through with those messages, because those were more practical-ish based, to give a spirit guidance and approach to it. So for work, yeah, divine neutrality is key, which doesn't mean that you don't feel anything, but keep everything fact-based. But also look to see where there is peace. Because a lot of the conflict actually should be resolved or resolving. So don't stay so connected to maybe a loop of drama at work that you stay in it when the drama actually passes. Like, move on when it's time to move on. For relationships, those of you in committed partnerships, this is a reminder that relationships are a dance between managing the practical matters of life as well as meeting the or supporting the meeting of emotional needs for your partner. So if one or both of those areas are lacking, that shows you where you need to work. So if the practical matters of life are going smoothly, then that means attention or the priority needs to go towards making sure a healthy emotional connection is being maintained. If all the focus is on the emotional and not on the practical matters, and the practical is falling apart, then you got to address the practical, okay? But it's a continual dance and it doesn't stay the same. So you have to remain flexible in that. But both components are important. It's not just the romance, it's not just the practical, it's both and, not either or. So depending on whatever is going really well, then it means the other area is needing attention. So put the energy there. This is actually not the time to be hands off. Because you are in control of what you are creating. Now, depending on what the needs are, you might need some individual quiet time. That's fine, but that's still an active approach to like consciously engage with time apart, right? For those of you who are single and are dating, not yet in a committed partnership or a relationship, whatever that looks like for you. Have your goals in mind. And by goals, it's not actually about goals with the other person or with another potential person. It's your own particular goals. And as long as whoever you are dealing with is not distracting you from those goals, that's good. If is a distraction, or if it pulls, focus away from the things that you need to be doing, that's not a situation you need to be involved in. So your work is to do your work. Not to hire them as a helper, if that makes sense. Okay, so it's interesting. This thing around courtship and dating. Okay, so two halves don't make a whole, guys. Interesting. So I'm going to show you all this card here. How's everybody doing, though, by the way? I'm in my own little space right now. Oh, excuse me. On this card for the Seven of Pentacles, we have 3 pentacles up here, and then we have 4 down here. So these 3 pentacles up at top, these top 2 represent to me the 2 people. And I'm obviously just speaking from a monogamous context because I'm dealing with the number 7. So you have 2 people here. They are whole in and of themselves. So they are balanced in their humanity, of their divine masculine and feminine principles within, as well as with their soul. World card. Okay, so that's each of us. So these 2 wholes, when they're working together, create a new energy. So this is representing the union itself. Okay, so this is basically the 3 of Pentacles right here. This energy is what helps to create the 4 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles is foundation, right? Foundation for, the home, a business, family, or whatever any particular goals are. This, though, is birthed, whatever this is, from the 3. But the 3, or really the union, comes from these 2 wholes, whole beings. So these energies, I'm actually going to bring the 10 of Pentacles in this as well too. But basically, like, this energy here, this is you, as I was saying at the beginning, being whole and complete and having everything. That's what this card is. This is how you are showing up. This is how other people are showing up. Everyone's pentacles, like what this looks like, is different, but everybody is already whole and complete. So all of this 10 energy is sitting in each individual pentacle up here to create a new one, which feeds into this. All that to say, you're not missing anything. And no one can give you anything you don't already have. All you're doing is sharing what you have. And from a place of overflow from both parties, that third energy can be created, which then gives birth to the additional 4. That's something to think about is, are you, for those again, single and looking or dating, are you dating from a place of overflow or from a place of lack? Because the spiritual guidance or the spiritual approach is to date from a place of overflow. This is the card of wealth. Wealth is past abundance, right? Abundance is feeling good. This is wealth. This is overflow. This is carefree energy. It's not careless. That's a mic drop. I might have to leave that alone. Okay, any questions so far? Because I realize I've been going for a minute here. Do I still have y'all? Also, how are you feeling energetically? Do you feel like a lot has been cleared? We'll do a quick check-in. So yes, good. Good. Oh, the stream. Please stay clear-ish. So on point, I feel like, oh, okay, let's play then. I mean, listen. That is what it is. Oh, be clear. Yeah, I see the stream is struggling right now, but it's okay. Okay, so no questions then about that so far. All right, so let me check in. It feels like that needs to sit for just a little longer. So I'll give a little bit more time if there are questions about the spiritual approach to that stuff. Okay. All right, so there's no questions. So let's change gears. See if there's any. Okay, so there will be one last group of messages. Almost there. Okay, so let's collectively change the energy. So take a few deep breaths on your own. So I know that I'm getting 4 cards. I'm just trying to find a good languaging for what this is representing, because it's not really the 4 elements. I guess Lords of Fate, or the 4 fates. Okay. How's that resonating with y'all? Oh, looks like we're back to being clear. Okay. Guess checking in helped. Yeah, I mean, I guess Lords of Fate. Lords just has a certain kind of energy, or there might be preconceived notions. Hence my hesitation around using that particular phrase, but I won't get caught up in that. Interesting. Okay, so we got strength, Six of Wands, Six of Pentacles, and the Temperance card. Bottom of the deck, King of Wands. Oh, this is interesting. We almost have... It's interesting. The 4 cards that came out almost represent the 4 fixed energies. Leo is fixed fire. Aquarius is fixed air. The 6 of Pentacles is fixed earth. And but the Temperance card is actually the card associated with the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, which is the transformed and transforming being. But the fixed water would have been the Death card. So what I'm hearing with this is this is actually talking about the renewal. Okay, so the renewal has happened, and that is what is at hand. That's also what we're stepping into for this next year as well, too, with the node shifting into Gemini and Sagittarius. But I'll talk about that at the beginning of the year when I do the year ahead forecast. Okay, so let me get messages. So it is actually looking like there is sovereignty and balance between the earth and the heavenly realms. Okay. And that there has been a reclamation, truly, of our humanity and our true divine nature with the Strength card here. And so now we are in the process of individually, collectively, merging with the higher consciousness, whatever that next level of higher consciousness is, because everybody's at different stages in their ascension process. But there's always an availability for merger of consciousness as you move forward. And that's actually in place. That awakening has occurred and is occurring, and the integration has happened and is continuing to happen. And so there is and will continue to be a transmission of higher realities, higher knowledge, higher frequencies, energies, experiences that are had. Because the heart space has been cleared and is continuing to be cleared. So that transmission of knowledge and information is happening and will continue to happen more easily and effortlessly. This is coming across as a very individual process. Like, obviously this is happening for everyone on the planet, but this isn't seeming as much to be about a collective merging with itself. This is seeming to be more about on a collective scale, each individual person is waking up to their true soul nature and having that merge of consciousness. So this is feeling very personal and individual. And of course that will have an effect on the group, but this isn't it's a very personal journey. Again, that was coming through with the Panther, right? It's a very individual journey. So it's like you're doing it on your own, but also not on your own in that process, because literally every single person is going through this. And there's a better handle now of managing resources and energy. Like, that has been made very clear. And so, you'll continue to have time to practice, developing greater and greater mastery, but you're no longer in the dark about the cost of things energetically, as well as where you are potentially overgiving and stepping outside of your own integrity, of your own personal resources and energy. So on a collective scale, each individual person is coming into a greater understanding and alignment of their creator incarnate way of being, i.e., that they are a fractal of the universe. So we mimic the ability to create realities, meaning taking what is there and molding something new. We can't actually create life. We are vessels for the molding of life, or the portal through which life comes into the physical. But we don't actually birth new life. That is for existence itself. But even within that, we are powerful creators in that sense, or artists, honestly. We're powerful artists. This work will continue through, but it will continue through the North Node transit to Cancer. But we'll still feel the effects through the end of the year because of the eclipses. A lot of the eclipses, most of the eclipses next year are actually still going to be in Cancer and Capricorn, even though we shift the node shift out of that axis. So there's going to be a lot of time to practice and integrate with what's going on. So lean on the spirit realm for support. Lean on the physical realm for support, Earth herself, as well as your own personal networks. It's both and, not either or. Embrace your humanity. As well as your soul and your higher self, which is the communicator, which is the consciousness of the soul. And you'll be good. You'll be good. And that actually seems to be the thing right now for this Aquarian age, is we basically have to embody this energy. The Knight of Wands is actually Leo because it's fixed fire. So the age is Aquarius, but in order for the Aquarian age to actually be successful, we have to be empowered in our individuality and in those things that make us distinct. The difference between Aquarius and Pisces is, both of those energies deal with the group or the collective. But with Pisces, there's a losing of self to the group, in service to the group. Whereas in Aquarius, there is a amplification of self in service to the group. So this is where the discomfort potentially is going to come in, is being distinct, being on your own path, not being in groupthink, and knowing and understanding that that's actually what's going to help the collective be strong, is autonomy, essentially. That's what this is about. Sovereign and autonomous. Sovereign and autonomous does not mean that you are separate. It means that you are empowered and bringing to the fore those things that are yours to bring through your natural gifts and talents and skills that you develop. And only you can do what you do and show up as you do. Like, that is your job. And that helps the whole. That's actually the only way that the whole is going to survive and be able to transition, is with this empowerment. Sovereign and autonomous. And leading from the heart. The soul heart, not the emotions, the soul heart. Your soul's true north. And that clarity continues to come through with the higher self and with this transit right now that we're in. Sovereign and autonomous is what creates healthy interdependent relationships. Sovereignty is not about power over something else. It is a reclamation of a revelation and acceptance of the truth of your beingness as a soul. But it does require a lot of personal responsibility, as we saw in the spread earlier. It was, pretty much, besides 2 cards, everything was earth energy. And the other 2 cards that weren't, 2 of Wands and Justice, that just talks about choices. So how you're using your power and being mindful of, basically knowing that you are bound by the laws of karma. So essentially just be in integrity with all that you do. Okay, so I think that's it. Let me get closing guidance, because this is kind of long and I am running out of battery. Ooh, we are at 2 hours. Oh my goodness, this time has flown by. Very interesting message. Very interesting message today. Very quiet, but very profound. Very profound. Perfect for coming into our new year. Yep. Hold the higher ground. 7 of Wands. And look at this. We got the Death card underneath the deck. So this transformation is still happening. This is slow process. Hold your higher ground through these next couple days. Honestly, through the rest of the month. We will soon have Pluto going direct. That's at the beginning of October. But yeah, we're still in the process of transformation, but hold your spiritual high ground. Hold your moral high ground. Defend how far you've come and the successes, what you've learned. 7 is about mastery, personal mastery. Not only over yourself, but in the world. So hold to that. And also keep your mind high. Keep your mind on the higher choice. Keep your mind on the higher path. This does not mean you negate how you feel. When you keep your mind on the higher path, you have to notice and give time and space for the human experience. You don't bypass that. And when you do that, when you give it the attention that it needs, it is actually able to move and to be healed. Or, you get support as you need through that process. But the actions that you take need to come from that higher place. And if you are wondering what action to take, ask your higher self, ask your spirit team, your ancestors, what actually needs to get done today to move my life forward in alignment with my higher choices, with my higher path. That's it. Yep. Yeah, that's it. We're going somewhere new, guys. We're going somewhere new. And I already know. And I already know that I'm going to be showing up differently, but not necessarily that different as the Oracle for you all. Because I have to show up differently for the collective. And I'm hearing specifically as the angelic. So I look forward to forging ahead a new path, for being a lighthouse or flashlight in the dark. But this is exciting. One step at a time. The angels are here to help us. There is a lot of help here for us. And light workers in general got your back, so we're good. Oh, for light workers also, if you are looking to train and develop your light worker skills, the enrollment for the Lightworker Academy will be opening October 10th. Okay. And it will go till mid-December. And then the semester starts at the beginning of January. So be on the lookout for that soon. Again, the last day to submit payment to enroll in one of the courses for the fall semester for the Lightworker Academy is this Saturday. So check out the Lightworker Academy page on my website to see the courses that I'm offering right now for the fall. Sign up, like I said. Last day again is Saturday the 21st, because classes start coming out on the 23rd through email. So, okay. Love you all. Have a blessed time. This was a long one, but you know, it's to be expected because it's a quarterly check-in and also spiritual new year. So I hope you enjoyed. Comment below any other things that came up for you, thoughts, feelings, things that you're going through. Put them in. I always read comments, so let me know. And sign up for my newsletter, because the October astrology forecast will be coming out next week. So definitely be sure to check that out. Thank you so much. I feel the appreciation, and I'm glad everyone got to receive their healing with the angels. It was nice to have them show up to kind of give a little extra clearing and push for that. And yeah, receive that and let it continue to bless your life. All right. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And of course, share this with your friends and family. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Love you. Have a wonderful weekend and happy equinox. Bye.